Nora Roberts once said, "If love doesn't make a fool of us, what will?" Love is known to make clowns of us all. We do things that put our brains on the back burner and let our hearts take the reins, despite the fact that our hearts are notoriously well known for having faulty GPS. Never has this been more succinctly put than in the 1996 bubbly, pathetic pop song, Lovefool, by the Swedish group the Cardigans. Hello, and thank you for coming back to Heard It in a Love Song. My name is Richard Hunt, and today we are tackling probably the most optimistic sounding song from the point of view of someone who has absolutely no chance in hell at getting the person they pine for to love them back. And we've all been there. The wool pulled over our eyes by ourselves, our own worst enemy. But hey, if love doesn't make a fool of us, what will? It was on Halloween 1992 in Jönköping, Sweden, where two heavy metal fans, guitarist Peter Svensson and bassist Magnus Svenningsson, met and decided to form a band. However, the two men soon grew tired of metal and decided that they'd flip genres on the head and start a pop band. They would add into the fold drummer Bengt Lagerberg and keyboardist Lars Olaf Johansson. But they were missing a key element, a poppy female voice. Insert Nina Persson. I knew Magnus from high school, and the band needed a girl, Persson told People. They didn't have anyone else, so I agreed. Even though I was basically a novice as a singer, I never expected for us to achieve any success at all. I never really strived to be a musician. I was just sort of recruited into this band. I was bored out of my mind in this small, safe place. I was like, awesome, I get to hang out with fun guys. Then, teenaged Nina Persson had barely sung a note before she was coaxed into becoming the lead singer of the Cardigans. Magnus, remembering her audition for the band, would say, "It was quite funny, actually. We had these auditions for a singer in my apartment. One of the older guys also knew Nina and brought her over. She had never sung before, but had been convinced that she could do it if she tried. So she came over, and we had to leave the room because she couldn't sing with anyone else in the same room. I went into the kitchen to make some coffee, and cocked my head to one side and listened. It took only about 30 seconds, and I knew she was the one. I grabbed the coffee and went into the other room. That's it, you're the one." Then I told her to sit down and have some coffee. Nina knew of Magnus and Peter's prior metal bands, but knew deep down inside who they really were. Even when they played angry music, I don't think that they were very angry, she mused. We were all instantly comfortable making Cardigans music. The five Cardigans shared an apartment big enough for their eclectic interest, and were soon collaborating on the material that would wind up on their Swedish debut, Emmerdale, which was named after a British soap opera of the same name. The album was recorded by producer Tord Johansson, no relation to the band's keyboardist, who helped mold the Cardigans' sound in his studio in the town of Malmö. We didn't consider ourselves very 60s until we started recording at Tambourine Studios with Tor, Magnus told Rolling Stone. Tor has worked with so many musicians, most notably Aha, Franz Ferdinand, Tom Jones, OK Go, New Order, and the no argument most talented Spice Girl, Mel Singh. A&R man, Ola Hermansson, heard the demo and signed the band to his Trampoline imprint. Emmerdale, released in the UK and Japan in 1994 and internationally in 1997, was packed with a sort of light, intelligent, and easygoing indie pop, of which had more in common with the mid-80s than the guitar-driven Britpop sound, which was all the rage in the UK at the time. The album included the Swedish radio hit Rise and Shine, which was later voted the best of 1994 in a poll in Slits magazine. It also included a very tongue-in-cheek cover of Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath by Black Sabbath. They just tell you that you're on your own. Don't fill your head up full of lies. They would also go on to cover a number of Ozzy songs. Iron Man, he lost his Changes,
I'm going through changes.
Mr. Crowley,
Mr. Crowley, what went on in your head?
and a partial cover of Black Sabbath.
No, not again. Oh, what a man.
The remainder of 1994 was spent touring Europe and recording Life, which was released worldwide in 1995. Life became an international success, selling more than 1 million copies and achieving platinum status in Japan. In 1996, Life was released under the label Minty Fresh in the US, a Chicago-based recording label founded in 1993, which is known most for launching the careers of Veruca Salt and releasing the debut single by Liz Phair, Carnivore. But this release was essentially a compilation of tracks from Emmerdale and Life. It's worth mentioning here that the Cardigans were gathering massive acclaim at the time, even though the record sales were not reflecting this, even in Sweden. And although the initial efforts didn't achieve much in the way of chart success, the band was beginning to receive regular plays on the evening shows on Radio 1, and were even invited to perform on the TV show The White Room, hosted by Mark Radcliffe. The band's popularity in the US was largely underground, but they soon found themselves with numerous American fans thanks to college radio airplay of the American version of their album Life. The band's playful pop album recalled everything from a newly resurrected lounge and exotica recordings of the 60s to the sophisticated pop of Burt Bacharach. Magnus, however, insisted he was the only Bacharach fan in the group. After their success with Life, the Cardigans signed with Mercury Records, under which they released First Band on the Moon worldwide in 1996. The standout song from First Band on the Moon was the song that would change their lives forever, the 7th track on the album, Lovefool. One of the few songs penned by Nina, Lovefool was the tale of a truly pathetic one-sided relationship. She was sitting in an airport waiting for a plane when she was inspired to write the song and thought it would have a slow, bossa nova feel. She told the Swedish Performing Rights Society, "I do find that the biggest hits are the ones that are the easiest to write." She later said that the song is quite a sad love song. The meaning of it is quite pathetic, really. She noted that the band knew the potential commercial appeal of the song, saying, "We definitely were aware that it was a single and a catchy song when we wrote it, but the direction it took is not something we could have predicted. It wasn't necessarily our character. It felt a bit like a freak on the record, which, objectively, it still is. Then when we were recording it, by chance, our drummer started to play that kind of disco beat, and there was no way of getting away from it." The disco beat changed the song completely. It was originally a much slower love song to the bossa nova style that they all had collectively loved.
Love me, say that you love me, leave me, just say that you need me. I can't care about anything but you.
Madness recalling writing the music for the song in an interview with The Independent, saying, "To me, that song is still that moment when I wrote it in a small room, sitting in my bed in our hometown. It was supposed to be some kind of bossa nova, a totally different song, slow and mellow and sad. The production of it, though, and the disco drums, made it all shinier." This was initially a hit in Europe, reaching number 15 on the Swedish singles chart and peaking at number 21 on the UK single charts on its first release in 1996. But it was the king of aesthetics, Baz Luhrmann, and his 1996 take on Romeo and Juliet that catapulted the song to new heights. MTV began airing the video for Lovefool, which was composed of clips from the film, and the next thing you know, Mercury decided to capitalize with a re-release, and were soon laughing all the way to the bank as it reached number 2 in the UK, number 1 in the US Billboard chart, and top 10 all over Europe and in Australia. The Cardigans had, in the minds of the general public, finally arrived. The song did not chart on the Billboard Hot 100 chart because at the time, non-commercially available songs, like Lovefool, were not eligible to chart on the list. Nina acknowledges she and her bandmates weren't initially thrilled by the success of Lovefool. It took over our whole existence, and it wasn't something we totally identified with. She said in an interview with Billboard, The Cardigans played it on Beverly Hills 90210 and on the morning and nighttime talk show circuit. Pearson remembers being freaked out when she'd see the video on screens in American clothing stores. We were kind of snobs, she acknowledges. We felt like these things were glitzy, and we were like, no, we're a rock band. A lot of people thought that we were very glamorous, fashionable people, but we aren't, Magnus would explain in Rolling Stone. And perhaps most important for Nina was dispelling the idea that the Cardigans were purveyors of joke pop or camp. We're not being ironical, she asserted in Addicted to Noise. We're taking this thing seriously, and some people want to call it kitsch, but I think it's rude to our music. I feel very strongly about it. Tell Americans to go out and buy the album, she advised the publication, and tell them not to laugh. Newfound Glory recorded a version of this song from their album From the Screen to Your Stereo Part 2. American actress and singer Leighton Meester performed a version of the song in June 2015 for the AV Club's AV Undercover series. Japanese pop singer Dream Amy has recorded a cover of the song. And Claire Rosenkranz interpolated the chorus for her 2021 single, Frankenstein.
I've been searching, don't think it's out there. Talks for hours, walks in with flowers, dirty Converse, 6'2" and brown hair, every little thing that I want.
The song was also used for the commercial of Lucky Me noodles in the Philippines in 2017.
Love me, love me, lucky me, love me,
Rich,
love me,
thick,
me, love me,
flavorful.
And an unintentional 2-week-in-a-row office mention. In the Season 3 episode, Initiation, Jim sings this song to annoy Karen.
Love me, say that you love me, boom.
Stop.
Go on and boom me, love me.
Lovefool comes in at 112 beats per minute. I'm a weird dude, okay? I know that much. Now, I have a few songs that, and I know this sounds bonkers, but I have a few songs that I am afraid I will die to. Not because they suck and I don't want to die to them, but because they just put me in this weird, scared headspace. Lovefool is one of them, as is Sleepwalk by Santo and Johnny. And Sunny Came Home by Sean Colvin.
I close my eyes and fly out of my mind into the fire.
And despite that, Lovefool remains one of my favorite songs, because honestly, we have all pined for someone that was not good for us. And sometimes we have been that person that isn't good for someone else. So it's easy to see both sides of the situation. We've all cried, and we've all begged for someone to love us. Or at the very least, say that they'll love us. This week's Love Homework is another song of yearning, this time after a one-night stand. That is Antonio by Annie, specifically the far superior Berlin Breakdown version. If you like what you learned today, and you'd like to continue learning, please consider subscribing and clicking the bell. Also toss a like if you learned something that you didn't know. Until next time, my name is Richard Hunt, and you heard it in a love song.
I don't care about anything but you.
Whatever happened to those guys?